I recently bought the Smartmi Air Purifier. Today we're gonna go over its functions and I'm gonna tell you how it works and so on. I bought it for a specific use case and I'm gonna tell you what it is and if it meets my expectations. For a long time I've been wanting to buy an air purifier to see if it can filter out the smoke, because I smoke and I wanted to see how well it filters out the smoke. Here in the winter I wanted to see if I could prolong airing out the room so I don't have to constantly air out the room after every cigarette. If I could wait like between 5-10 cigarettes and then maybe air out the room. And that is my use scenario, and I'm gonna tell you if it works for that a little later on in this video. First we're gonna go through the functions and all the things this air purifier can do. First we're gonna go through how this air purifier works, how to control it, and all the options you have. This air purifier has one button. With that one button you can change the modes of the air purifier and you can also turn it off and on. The only thing that you can do with that button is to control the fan manually, which you can do from the app. So most people would want to connect this to the Xiaomi app, else you won't be able to control it fully. You would just be able to change modes. One of these modes is named custom, and there in the app you set your fan speed to a specific level and then you can control it by changing the modes, changing over to this custom mode, and it will remember the last fan setting. But if you want to change the fan setting again to a different level in this mode, then you have to do it through the app, basically changing the fan setting, and then you can change modes. So the 3 modes are automatic. There it senses how dirty the room is, how much smoke or how many particles are in the air, and it adjusts the fan accordingly. The other mode is sleeping mode, where it's basically very, very quiet, you can't hear it. And then there's the manual mode or custom mode. You set the fan speed through the app, what you want it on, and then you can change over to that mode. The screen itself, it shows how many particles are in the air, and it also shows the air quality, and it also visually shows it by this ring on the display. It turns from green, yellow to red depending on how polluted your room is. The purifier also has gesture controls, and you can simply change the modes with gestures. It basically does the same thing as the button. You can change modes and you can turn it off. It doesn't seem like you can turn it on again with gesture controls, so there you would need to press the button to turn it on again. By the way, gesture recognition is not enabled by default, and you need to connect it to the app to be able to turn it on in the first place. I think the gesture control is kind of a gimmick. I don't really use it. It works, but it's not something, it has so few functions that you don't need it. If it could control the fan speed manually and you could set it that way, then okay, that would be a little bit cooler. But right now it just does the same as the button, and it's basically a party trick. To get the most out of your Smartmi Air Purifier, you need to use the app. There you can change modes, you can see how many particles are in the air and the air quality, and you can also adjust the fan in the custom setting. In some of the other air purifiers by Xiaomi, when you set a custom fan speed, in a couple of hours it resets and jumps over to automatic again. With this air purifier, it doesn't do that. You can set a custom setting and you can run it for days. It will stay on that fan speed. In the app, you can schedule it when to power on and off. You can turn on gesture recognition or you can turn it off. You can also do different kinds of automation, especially if you have other Xiaomi devices connected, then you can use them to trigger this or to change its modes or whatever. the filters are the same as the Xiaomi. So Xiaomi is behind this brand, and it uses the same filters as the other air purifiers that Xiaomi has, and you can interchange them. They have an RFID tag which senses how long you've been using it for. So you cannot use an air filter from some other brand. It has to be either a Xiaomi air filter or a Smartmi air filter. And when they have determined that this filter can no longer be used, then you cannot use it because it has this RFID tag, and it will simply not work with a filter that's used up. My main hope with this air purifier was that I could air out my room less, because I smoke with this purifier on, and it would clean the air. And here it's winter right now, and I wouldn't have to open the windows constantly to air out. That was my hope. Did it fulfill my expectation? Well, yes and no. No, it does kind of help. You can smoke a couple of cigarettes more before having to air out, but it doesn't remove it completely. And you also don't feel that nice if you smoke a couple of cigarettes. Yeah, you feel a little bit better than if you don't have it, but you still don't feel very good, because the air gets kind of heavy. It doesn't feel that good, so you still have to air out. Maybe you can prolong it a little bit before airing out, but not that much, not as much as I hoped. I hoped I could do it like for 5 hours, but basically, I air out a little bit less, but yeah. But generally, I'm happy with it. The air feels cleaner, so even if I don't smoke when I sleep, when I wake up from sleeping, the air feels fresh. It feels like the window is open or something like that. So it definitely feels better, but it doesn't clean smoke as well as I hoped. It does clean it, but not completely. You still have to air out, once in a while. It's also kind of louder than I have expected. I expected that you wouldn't be able to hear it that much. But if you use it on the auto setting, when you start smoking or something, it's pretty loud. It's not really bearable. You can do it once in a while, but you can't just sit all day with this sound going off. It's pretty loud. So I just keep it on a custom fan setting, a couple of steps below max, and then it's bearable. I use my computer with headphones on, and then I don't hear it, and it's not really that annoying. But if you run it on the automatic setting, it gets pretty loud, and I'm gonna show you right now. So I lit my cigarette here, and I have put it on auto setting, and we're gonna hear it spin up now any moment. And I wanted you to hear how loud it is, with the microphone a meter and a half from it, and then you can get an idea of how loud it is. So now you can hear. So this is what it sounds like when it spins up at the maximum speed on the auto setting. So as you can hear, it's not crazy loud. It's not, but it is annoying. If you have it on all the time, you're gonna get annoyed from the sound basically, and either turn it off or change it over to manual setting and pick a specific fan speed that you can live with. So my conclusion is that it works. It does some kind of job. It doesn't do the job as I expected it to do. I expected it to clean smoke completely. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that. But it does help. It does work. So if you're sensitive to dirty air, or if you like me, you want a little bit less smoke, don't expect it to clean everything completely, but it will help to some degree. So that's my take on it. I hope you like this review. Put a like button if you liked it and subscribe to my channel, guys. Thank you. I'm gonna see you on the next video.